I'd like to bring in now and discuss this a little further Representative Marsha Blackburn, also Van Hipp. Representative Blackburn, you have been the peacemaker, if you will. You've extended the olive branch. You've said good things about Paul Ryan. You've said great things about Donald Trump. Where do you find yourself standing right now? Do you think this ultimately gets resolved, and what exactly does Ryan want?
I think space and time is going to do a lot, and what Paul Ryan's focus will be, in my opinion, is making certain that we retain control of the House. That means we are going to have to unite on an agenda. House conservatives have been working on an agenda. We look forward to working with the Trump campaign. We look forward to holding every seat that is in the House. That means we've got to all be on the same page, educating the voters, just as Katrina was saying, taking the campaign directly to them, just as Mr. Trump has done. I think it's going to be one of the most exciting fall campaigns that we have had in recent memory.
But having said that, though, Representative Blackburn, what are some of the concessions that conservatives are going to fight tooth and nail not to make? I know there's give and take on both sides.
We want to make certain we're on a pathway to reducing some of the entitlement spending, making certain that Medicaid programs are reviewed, making certain we stabilize Medicare and Social Security, getting the debt under control. You know, Charles, as we've talked many times, national security, jobs, economic security, retirement security. You can look at those three issues. That's what our constituents are talking about, and that's where they're wanting to see the action, and that's where we're going to put the pressure to be certain we're all on the same page.
Van Hipp, let me get some of your wisdom in here. It's been sort of interesting. Obviously, it's been great fodder for the media, but it is interesting to see the House Speaker, the GOP representative in Washington, D.C., and the presumptive nominee this far apart.
It is, Charles, and let me tell you, don't be surprised to see more members of Congress this Thursday who have not yet endorsed Donald Trump endorse him before the meeting on Thursday with Paul Ryan. That's what you call upping the ante. But when I look at Paul Ryan and look at some of the comments he's made the last couple of days, he's looking for a way back in. When he says, I'll do what Mr. Trump wants me to, when he says, I'm not going to support a party candidate, even if it's Mitt Romney, when he says, I believe we can come together before July, that sounds an awful lot to me like someone who wants to come back in, who's looking for a way to endorse Donald Trump. And I think it's important for Donald Trump to reach out to him, to be magnanimous on Thursday, and give him a way back in to bring this party together.
Katrina, I'll go back to you on that. Magnanimous. Donald Trump, can he extend the olive branch? Does it always have to be the other person?
Oh, absolutely not. Of course Mr. Trump can do that. He agreed to this meeting before all of this even happened. Like I said, he's been committed for quite some time to uniting the party. That has been a stated goal of his for a very long time. I think you will see Donald Trump go and have a reasonable discussion with Speaker Ryan. I think he'll do whatever he can to meet the needs of the Speaker, with the exception of giving up the core principles of his platform, which are conservative. And I also think that, Mr. Trump is the kingmaker of the deal. He will sit down and he will be reasonable and he will have that discussion, and I think it's going to be fine. I think we're going to come out of that meeting. I think everyone will come together, just as my colleague stated, and yes, we will be united going into November, because what we do know is if Hillary Clinton is president, there will not be a single piece of conservative legislation that moves forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately that's what we hear. But do you find it somewhat interesting, Katrina, that some people are saying they're coming in on their GOP side, whether it's donors or even elected officials, saying, I'm going with Donald Trump because the alternative is worse. I mean, that's not the most, robust of endorsements, if you will.
Well, it isn't, but, in fairness, they're not sure how Mr. Trump is going to govern because he hasn't been casting those votes or writing that legislation, and I understand that. But I do think as we move forward into the summer, when you see the contrast between the type of administration that Mr. Trump would have versus the type of administration we'd have with Hillary Clinton, they will become much more comfortable.
All right.